Hey guys, how you doing? In this video, I'm going to show you how to install Vueform Builder to Vite. To install Vueform Builder, first I'm going to go builder.vueform.com and hit the sign up button. I'm going to create a new account with an email address using my test email address. Then I'm going to hit continue. By this time, I should have received an email from Vueform containing my activation code. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this activation code, then go back to the sign up form. Here I'm going to fill in my first name, last name, and password. Then paste the activation code, and I'm going to hit finish. After this, I'll be redirected to my account where a project is already created so I can start the installation right away. I'm going to choose Vite and Tailwind CSS as Vueform Builder is only compatible with Tailwind. As a first step, I'm going to go to Vite website and look for a command to create Vite from a Vue template. I'm going to go ahead and copy this code into my console and create the Vite project using the name Vite Builder. Once ready, I will install the dependencies and wait for it to finish. It seems to be ready, so I'll go ahead and test the setup by running npm run dev and checking it out in the browser. Everything seems fine, so I'll move forward and install Tailwind next. I go to Tailwind website and look for the specific installation steps for Vite. First, I will install Tailwind and its dependencies in my projects. Once finished, I will init Tailwind's config file with npx. I'll double check if the config now exists so I can go ahead, fill in some configuration options. I copy and paste them from the Tailwind website. Next, I insert the required Tailwind utilities in my main CSS file and remove everything else. Next, I'll insert a small template to test if Tailwind is working correctly. I go back to my console and start my dev server again. Once started, I go back the browser and see that Tailwind is now successfully loaded. Now I go back to Vueform's website and copy the command to install Vueform and Vueform Builder. I will paste it in my terminal and wait until both packages are installed. Once finished, I go back to Vueform website and copy the Vueform config file. Note that your project's public key is already assigned in the config, so we don't have to deal with that later. Let's go ahead and create the vueform.config.js file and insert the config into it. Next, I will do the same for builder config, which is the config file dedicated for the builder. Next, I will add Vueform plugins to Vite's config. Then I will install Vueform and Vueform Builder as plugins for Vue and pass on the configuration files we've just created. Once it's done, I need to add some configurations for Tailwind as well, so let's copy those and insert them to Tailwind config. The next step is to copy the test template for my project that includes the Vueform Builder component, which will hopefully render the builder within our application. Before I test my setup, I make sure that Source Sans Pro font is also included in my project to make the builder fonts look smooth. This is not a mandatory step, but recommended for the best visual experience. Then I go back to my terminal and start the dev server. After it's started, I'll go back to the browser and hit refresh. I can now see Vue Builder showing up in my project.